audio?
Yeah. Audio guy?
We're beating the Clippers, huh? Pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're beating them. Clippers, eh? Welcome to Game Day Battle, where Cleveland sports news meets biased and outspoken opinion. I'm here with the full Game Day crew, and we have a huge show. We've got the Browns. Cavs are back. With the flopping rule, Cavs, really, first ones to get the warning, and we're going to look at the flopping rule, what it's worth, if it can even be enforced, if it's going to make any difference. Browns, they struggled, they stumbled versus probably one of the NFL's best teams, I'd say, and the Ravens. We came out a little short there. I think it's time to take a look at the coaching staff, at the offense, the defense, special teams, and just a quick sort of state of the team and where we are with each facet of the game, and then suggestions for getting on that winning path with each of those sections. And that is what we need to really focus on for the next half of the season, becoming a real team by the end of the season. Also, Paul Jackson, our fearless leader on defense, says that we're just as good as the Falcons. We're just a couple of plays away from being the Falcons. If everybody doesn't know, Falcons undefeated.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty damn good. And they're a solid team, winning big games and winning them consistently. So, agree with you, Quell? No? Well, we're going to find out a little bit more about that here coming up. Brett Finnegan.
What's up?
This show, buddy. So, Monsters coming up soon, right?
They're in season now.
They're in season now? Is it started?
Yeah, October 12th was their first game.
All right.
Awesome start.
Not a big Monsters fan, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not dependent for all of my hockey.
They had a nice comeback on the road, down 3-0, came back and won it 5-3.
Awesome.
So, yeah, first in the division, tied with Abbotsford.
Waiting on some tickets.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Penalty box.
Let me know.
Ramon Torres.
Represent a team that goes out and wins.
Yeah, they are, and they're winning solid.
Getting it done.
Dale Chance Tersey representing the best of all. Game Day Battle.
That's right.
DST.
This is official GDB wear.
Official GDB wear and
now available at GameDayBattle.com for $39.99. So
we'll say a little less than 39, but
you gotta aim high.
Plus $20 shipping and handling.
$34.99.
Type in DST for discount shipping.
That's right.
And I'll sign it.
Signed and delivered. I'm Mike Glass, and we are going to jump right into it with the Browns.
All right.
Game Day Battle is brought to you by Bamboozle's Restaurant and Lounge in Parma. They have the best drink specials anywhere. Seriously, buy one, get one free drinks. How often do you hear of it? You don't. They do it twice a week. Billy's mom makes the pasta sauce all the time, and the burgers, you simply won't find a better one. Check them out, bamboozles.com. Again, bamboozles.com. When you go there, tell them GDB sent you.
All right, so it was a big struggle against the Ravens, which are a very good team, not just in our division, not just in our conference, but in the entire league. And softened up a little bit on defense, yes, but still a good team. They gave us probably maybe not their best. I would say that's probably safe to say based on what they've shown with other teams, but they still did put a lot into the second half of the game, and we hung with them. So at this point, it's hard to say this is a good team, or at least a team that's on its way to being a good team, or it's just an awful team. And time to hit the reset button once again. So if you look at the individual components, the small pieces of the game, it's easier to get a good picture of the whole team. And with that, I think that we should focus on offense, defense, special teams, and the shot callers, of course the coaches, because they make such a big difference in the game. And Brett, just looking at the game we just played, and then sort of expanding it to the entire season up until this point. Offense, grade, and maybe a few points, good or bad, that we should focus.
Against the Ravens, I have to give the offense a D.
D.
A D. Only because Baltimore's defense went from 10th in the league to 28th. That's us. We're around that area right there.
That's true.
But for those who watched the game, like Rich Cannon was just brutally, horribly against our offense. And he had some nice cases. Once was there's a couple open receivers. Brandon Whedon didn't see them. He decided to go out the flat route. It seemed like he was under pressure a lot when he didn't really need to be. But I'm not going to blame all of it onto him. Offensive line really kind of gave him a little run for his money and tried to get him, he was flushed out of pocket quite a few times. Our wide receivers had some great catches, but they also lost some great, catches. So our offense against this, we could have easily won this game.
Well, there's no doubt about that. So you're looking at a D for the offense. Ramon, are you seeing kind of the same scorecard Brett is?
Yeah, definitely. But I'm giving Brandon Whedon just a big F, man, because the guys he could have had open, like Rich Cannon, just basically ripped him a new one. The whole game, he goes, I don't want to be looking like. He even said he made. I don't know the quote exactly, but he's made this point where he was just riding them the whole game, and which was true because he came back after to make his statement true. He showed a replay of the play where the guy was just wide open, and Brandon Whedon just didn't even hit the guy who was wide open. Just elected to either take the sack, throw the ball away, or throw it to triple coverage.
Well, is that Brandon Whedon not seeing the field, or is it Brandon Whedon
Definitely.
under constant pressure?
No, when you're playing a defense like the Ravens, and that was another statement they made, was they're already reading his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't know how to, psych out a defense. Like, look another way, check down, complete. It was just bullshit, man. I was just watching this dude over it, and I'm still not impressed. Like, he goes out there and has a good game, and then he can do 10 stupid things and just take away all the good stuff he just did.
So, Dale, I hear you chuckling behind me here.
Yeah, just taking it all in, and I'm agreeing with most of what I'm hearing from you guys. A lot of it was Brandon Whedon. He was back there looking scared, being very hesitant on his throws, and just being afraid to let it loose and let it fly. I know that when we were in the red zone in the third quarter there, he missed Josh Cribbs on an out route in the end zone, and we didn't attack the end zone at all. We had that one play that Brett touched on that was called back, but aside from that, they were not taking any shots toward the end zone at all. They were just comfortable taking field goals. God bless Phil Dawson and his glorious foot to go an amazing 5 for 5, just to be able to rely on him like that, and
I love as
basically
a
just not even give a damn. If Dawson kicks it, chances are it's going in. So we were in that game. And no matter what happened, once we went up 15-14, the entire game plan seemed to work. But piss poor play calling the entire game. The first series of the game, 3rd and 1, he does a play action pass. That's why we got Trent Richardson, is to eat up those easy yards and get our defense, keep them off the field so that they're not winded by the fourth quarter. And then the second possession, then we were 3rd and 2, and they do some play to Agbanaya 30 yards downfield when all we needed was a first down for 2 yards. And then you give it over to Baltimore that first series, and what did they do? They did a steady dose of run and pass and marched it right down into the end zone.
And they were effective.
And we were looking pretty shitty there in the first half, but they definitely made some halftime adjustments. Joe Hayden with that Torrey Smith touchdown, when that was just a little button hook and he juked him out and just took it in. I mean, that was the game breaker right there. We were in it. That was a 3rd down touchdown, and that definitely swung momentum and was a big game changer. But props to our defense. Phil Taylor, you could definitely tell that he was back, and he makes everybody around him better. Jabal Sheard was playing better. You actually heard Frosty Rucker's name get called out there a couple of times. Exciting to see. Let's get Ruben back, and John, what's his name? John, number 90, Wynn? Is it Wynn?
Oh yeah, it's
okay. Yeah.
I mean, we could have a very scary front 5 rotation in there, and DeQuell Jackson, another 10 tackle game. He was all over the place. The defense showed up when they had to. Our offense was just lackluster at best, and even the guys that are wide open. We had a guy wide open in the fourth quarter when it was just garbage time, and he let it loose, and he barely got it to him. The guy, they thought he trapped the ball at first.
Well, that was Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
We got open.
Wide open. You got to hit him in stride.
Had to dive back to get that ball.
Yeah.
Well, it's testament to Gordon's ability. And
6'10",
and that's a big play, you know what I mean? That was a game-breaking play right there, and you got to hit a guy like that in stride when he's wide open. Those are the big plays that you got to take advantage of when they leave you out there 30 yards downfield with nobody on you and nobody behind you. that's when you got to make the play, man, and decide where to deliver the ball in the best spot.
Right. Well, yeah, and you do, and you mentioned a number of things and touched upon offense, defense, coaches. But looking at the offense specifically, is grade-wise, I mean, are you just completely disgusted with them at this point?
No, I'm not. I mean, I've said it a lot this season. We're a young team, and I didn't expect us to be a playoff caliber team. The fact that we are yet again hanging with another team and only one or two big plays on both sides of the ball from being in and possibly getting some W's. We saw Trent Richardson go out there and run for 125 yards. That means that our line was blocking. They were out there doing thing.
Definitely.
We didn't have time. He was just making poor decisions with the football, and his placement was off. So overall, I'll probably give the offense a C- for the game and a C+ so far for the season. They're not spectacular, but one thing they have been doing is we've been seeing them move the ball down the field and actually get into some scoring opportunities and put some points on the board. And from the Brownies of the past, this is definitely a step in the right direction. So.
Brett, you mentioned the defense. One thing that I think is huge, those middle quarters, second quarter, third quarter. I mean, that's kind of that slugfest time. That's when you've spent that initial burst of energy, the excitement from being out there. Now you've got a long game to go still. Fatigue starts to set in, and there's still a lot to do. And it's hard for players to continue to fight, continue to push forward. And we held the Ravens to just 37 points, 37 yards in those middle quarters. That's huge. That sets up us in the fourth quarter in position to win, whether it be ahead, slightly behind, in the game, and in position to win. That's huge. Joe Hayden, he gives up some bad plays sometimes, and I don't know if it's just he forgets what's going on. He gets lost maybe in the moment.
Didn't take his Adderall.
He didn't take his Adderall. Well, yeah, that's funny.
I don't think
but
you blame him for that, though, because if you see one of your receivers, or you Joe Hayden might say, your corner's going in, where's the free safety? Why are you backing him up? Well, by the time he turned around, the other guy was everybody was on to the right of the field. I'm like, what the hell? There's no backup?
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to have your number one quarterback out there able to take their number one wideout out of the game, so that you can focus on all of their other weapons. And sometimes sometimes that cornerback's just going to have to do it on his own. The good ones do. The good ones do it.
Yeah, but you also need backup too, especially when you're that close to the end zone. Like, damn, where's everybody else at?
I don't think anybody at this table is going to complain that Joe Hayden doesn't have it going on, and he's not that he's like a bad player or something. But man, is it frustrating when your number one guy in your defense fails you on big occasions a number of times? It starts to kind of change the way you look at the guy as a player in total. So
I don't know. I don't think one play. Because if we would have scored touchdowns those 5 times we got in there, we would have been talking about this.
One thing that was fun, or at least funny, was DeQuell Jackson saying that the only difference between the Cleveland Browns, who are at 2-7, but the only difference between the Cleveland Browns at 2-7 and the Atlanta Falcons undefeated is just a few plays, and they could just make those couple of.
I would call it 6 wins. We're 6 wins away.
That's impressive, Dale.
See what I did? I took their wins, and then I took our wins.
Was there math?
And I subtracted them.
There was math.
And the difference cross-checks with the number 8.
Oh, we have him here.
So
we call him the Brainiac.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's why we got him here. So
I think we just confused every viewer.
I guess I could. Yeah, I know. I guess I can give
short attention span.
Take the Adderall, viewer. We've had close games, except for the Giants game. Every game's been close. And Dale's happy about that. That's pathetic.
It's a good game.
And we usually do play fairly well up until the point where it really matters, that last few minutes, that last 5 minutes, whatever it is, and they fall apart. So there is, I guess, basis for this. Anybody at this table think that we're a few plays away from being the Atlanta Falcons, meaning that we are player for player, play for play, game for game as good? We just got unlucky with a few, or made a couple of mistakes.
All you gotta do is just look at your wide receivers and go Julio Jones and Roddy White versus Massaquoi and Greg Little.
Do you know
the remaining of whoever our practice squad? And
Josh Gordon, what are you talking about? Why are you guys leaving him out?
Josh
man?
Gordon's number 3 right now. Just being, you know, don't hate the depth chart. Hate the guys in front of you.
Right offense.
Let's go for a draft pick. Let's just lose the rest of the games. And
Yep.
Well, and that's the thing. I think that DeQuell thinks we're a few players or a few plays away from being as good as the Falcons. I think we're about 40 players and an entire coaching staff away from being the Atlanta Falcons.
It's a lot of players.
It's a lot of players, and that's about what we were. I thought I was generous there. All right, well, in the spirit of the presidential election, this is election week, I thought it'd be fun to have an election of our own if we could, in a dream world, if we could elect our own players, coaches, or we could put together at least a team that we would have some input on, and I would hope a better team. So I just thought this would be fun. Brett, you have to vote. Pat Shurmur or Butch Davis for your coach?
Oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes the presidential election's about the lesser of two evils.
Who sucks less?
At this point, I remember Butch Davis play calling at all, so I'll bring him back.
All right. Butch Davis. One vote for Butch Davis. Ramon Torres.
Can't get any worse.
do you have to vote or
You gotta vote. There's no holding out of this election.
My God. I hate Butch Davis. So I guess I'm gonna stay with Shurmur.
Wow, vote for Shurmur.
I'm only
Butch
voting.
Davis is
I'm only
horrible, man.
I'm only voting for Butch Davis because he's not Pat Shurmur.
Oh, okay.
So anybody but
He
Pat
did pretty
Shurmur.
good down in UNC, didn't he?
He wins by default.
He wins by default. He actually managed the team, and he was at least the leader, even though he's recruiting, or not recruiting in this case, but his drafting and his choice of players was
Everything that mattered.
dumb. Yeah, well, no, I mean, he did lead the team, and I think he was a good leader, and Shurmur can't lead at all, so I'll take that. How about this? Greg Little or Braylon Edwards in his second year, which is 2006 for him.
Braylon.
So, Braylon Edwards? Really, over Greg Little? All right. Knowing what eventually becomes of
Didn't Braylon Edwards catch 12 touchdowns?
2007, I think.
Yeah, that was the last wide receiver we had to do that. So
All right,
I'll
Braylon.
take that over anybody.
Yeah,
Braylon over
oh,
Greg
yeah.
Little hands.
Even though he was a Michigan man.
Yep.
And
More
dropped
talented
everything.
too. I think he got open. You know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Edwards.
See.
All right. I disagree. I can't stand Braylon Edwards. I think he was a problem on the team. He did have a good year. He had one really good year, and
Yes,
then the
he
rest
did.
of them were a problem. And
How many good years has Greg Little had?
this is his second year.
None.
He could.
None so far.
He could.
So right now.
I think it's funny that Greg Little reminds me, playing wise, a lot of Braylon Edwards. He's got those flashes of greatness, and then
He drops
he drops the
80% of the
ball.
balls.
But at least I think
drops.
he's got a better head on his shoulders than Braylon Edwards because he was just dumb.
I got one for you, Mike. You ready?
Oh, here
you
we
ready
go.
for it?
I'm ready.
Ryan Tannehill or Brandon Whedon?
Well, that's a tough decision. It's hard not to go with Whedon. Stat-wise, they're fairly similar. I think Brandon Whedon's got the accuracy. You don't think
The
that
accuracy?
stat-wise?
Did you watch this last game?
Nope.
I saw some play pigeons. Does that count for
He wasn't
anything at this
anywhere
point?
near him.
But Tannehill, I mean, he's making some things happen in Miami. I would probably go Tannehill, only out of a change. I think the country needs a change. Ryan Tannehill for president.
And he's got a sexy blonde girlfriend.
That matters a lot, doesn't
Lots
it?
of confidence
It really
there.
does. It does.
Yeah.
This just crossed my mind. Let's bring back the orange jerseys. Maybe he'll start hitting the targets then.
Because of Oklahoma State, I got it.
Oh.
Okay.
You know?
I like the orange jerseys.
Me too. But I'm going with Tannehill.
Tannehill or Whedon? Who are you voting for?
I'm going Tannehill only because they're 4-4 at 500 right now. And he's got a better QB rating right now than Whedon.
And he's younger.
And he's got a hot fucking girlfriend.
Hell yeah, he does. Not like smoking hot.
And he's in Miami.
She kind of got a butterface.
You see them titties all the time.
Smoking hottie. I'm with I'm on the Tannehill train, Mike. I'm glad you asked.
I'm on the titties.
It may be, yeah, you're coming next.
I'm on the Tannehill train.
You ready? Well, it is possible that those titties are keeping him distracted because he's got 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Your Braden Whedon has 9 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, so it's kind of just a wash.
Look at the stats. Doesn't matter by that. Looks like wins and losses.
Don't look at paper. The only thing you do with paper is roll it up.
Do you have the QB rating on there?
QB rating I've got not on here. Yeah, no. Completions.
What about completions?
Completion percentage, they're 58.
Damn.
Okay, well, I just looked it up. And Tannehill's got 78, and Whedon's got 67.
So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Cavaliers are playing now. In fact, they've excited us. We got to watch the game tonight, and there was I don't know, pretty good team out there.
Beat the fucking Clippers, man.
Pretty
on
good
the road.
Yeah. Then the Clippers, they were fighting at the end, and we were
and they play out in L.A.,
which is a travel.
A travel
We had
team.
to
We had to travel a long way, Mike.
This might be a first in the history of all sports.
No, it was shorter. They left from Milwaukee. It was shorter.
See, there you go.
Yep, they had a couple brews.
Out in Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
The new flopping rule in the NBA now, you aren't supposed to be flopping, and if you do, you will be fined or potentially thrown out of the game, potentially suspended. And I am going to read what the new flopping rule is in case you aren't familiar with it.
Listen.
This is straight from the NBA. Flopping will be defined as any physical act that appears to have been intended to cause the referees to call a foul on another player. That's pretty open and vague. The primary factor in determining whether a player committed a flop is whether his physical reaction to contact with another player is inconsistent with what would be reasonably expected given the force and the direction of the contact.
What? You sound like a lawyer or some shit. I heard a lot of big words in there.
Yeah, well, this is written by lawyers.
Basically, it means if you pretend like you got charged when you really didn't. Anderson Varejao was the poster child for flopping.
But it was not Anderson Varejao who was given the warning.
Right,
was it?
It was not.
Should
be LeBron James.
Donald Sloan.
Sloan.
No.
Sloan.
That guy.
Donald Sloan, but sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
Anyway, so is there anything that this is going to change in game? I'm not talking about the news afterwards or when the fines come down, it becomes a new story. But in the game, is it really going to stop somebody from trying to draw a call on a foul that isn't there?
I think it's going to. I think people are going to start flopping less.
You really think so?
Because now there's rules implemented against
Be less flopping.
This is sarcasm. Because when there's a law, we all obey it.
Yeah.
Let's hook up.
All over you, man.
So everybody's excited?
Hell yeah.
Anybody saying playoffs?
I'm saying playoffs.
You're saying playoffs, really?
6-7 possible 8 seed. Or I should reverse that. 8-7 possible 6 seed. Fucking A.
All right.
I said 500. Give me more, but yeah.
Playoffs.
Fucking playoffs, baby.
Fucking playoffs.
I'll say it right now.
New
Looks like I picked the
Dude,
Browns.
Philly went down. So there you go. Philly's falling out of it. Who
Well,
else?
and this team is a better team this year than they were last year, midway through, before they just decided to stop playing. And
They also
they
played
were
half the
500.
season last
They were a
year.
500 team. Well, but they were a 500 team halfway through last year, and they were playing really well. And then
Fuck yeah, they were.
What happened? Thanks, Dale.
You're welcome.
What was it that happened? Something happened that we didn't make a trade.
They started
we didn't
fucking
make a
losing,
trade.
Mike.
Razor got hurt.
That's what happened.
And he got fucking hurt.
No more Windex. We were out of it.
Yep. Bad times.
Oh, you guys are worthless. So this is a better team than last year. Is my point, and I see bigger things. I'm saying playoffs for sure.
For sure.
Talk to me in 2 weeks, and we'll maybe change that a little bit.
Fuck this team.
Hey, raise your beer to sell liquor on Sundays.
Don't fucking tell me what to do, Mike. That's a great idea.
Well, we have a very small amount of time left, and they're gonna. somehow, for some reason, show it to you.
That's what we do.
And that's what we do. So this is where we like to raise our beer, just spout off about something we hate, praise somebody, just talk for a couple of minutes. It's our chance to control the floor. And this week, I'm going to start with Dale Shinsters.
Oh, hey, what's happening?
Rome.
Why the fuck not?
Tomorrow's a big day, America. Why don't you go out there and vote and let your voice be heard and take advantage and use the rights that have been fought for you over hundreds and hundreds of years, and go do your part as a citizen and vote, goddammit. Vote twice, but not for the same thing, because that would be illegal. Very important issue happening in my city, maybe in your city as well. I saw it all across Northeast Ohio, but there's a great petition on there to legalize the sale of liquor and wine on Sundays in the park and all cities across this great county. And we want to crack a cold one after church and before kickoff. So
After kickoff, too, trust me.
let
after
us
kickoff.
buy our brew on Sundays and vote, America.
Do that.
America.
And Ramon Torres.
Well, I'm gonna raise my empty beer.
You're a little late.
Yeah.
I know.
That's way late.
We're still there though.
No, but-
Patriotic.
Our flag was still there.
Well, I'm gonna raise my beer to the GDB crew. Awesome live show we had at Bamboozles. Thanks for having us there.
It was like a
Man,
big minus.
great time. An awesome time. Great laughs.
Say B minus.
Great company. We had a lot of good people who came out and supported us. Thanks to everybody who came out and supported us. And also to the team that are wearing, man. Buckeyes, man. Doing big things.
Yes, they are.
And I like it.
Yes, they fucking are.
What kind of things are they doing, man? They winning some games down there?
Oh, man. I'm telling you.
9 and
Heisman Trophy talk
9 in
for
a
the boy
row.
Braxton Miller.
I love it. I love it.
He didn't get it, but nice to hear him in the
Hey.
conversation.
Hey, Brad, how's it going down there?
I'm almost out of beer.
Raise it up.
Praise it.
All right. Number 1 out of 16. You guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
Oh man, I forgot already. Actually, no. On a serious note, I'm gonna raise my beer to the East Coast and the whole Superstorm, Sandy, and all that. The people that lost their houses.
That's serious.
Yeah, people are.
For those of you that actually helped out with the Red Cross, it also goes to you also, and hopefully everybody gets back and gets their houses back together, gets their lives back together. We are still one nation, and we're here for you. So there you go.
That's right.
Damn straight.
Raise my beer to that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one. I have a couple, but I'm just gonna get one.
All right. Well, that just completely just ruined mine, man.
Yeah.
Because mine was completely shallow, superficial, and
Oh,
all
man.
about Las Vegas. And I want to raise my beer to Las Vegas for showing me a good ass fucking time. Never been there before. And dude, you go to the tables, you sit down, and chicks come over with drinks, and they just give them to
boobs.
you. And boobs, dude. Oh, everything is sex. Everything's sex, dude. 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Sex.
On a fucking go
Corner,
to,
the street corner with the nice going.
Oh,
The little cards?
They're everywhere. They're
Yeah.
everywhere. My God, there's titties everywhere, and then they just dance on tables
Chi-chis.
and hot chicks just for the hell of it. It could be like 10 a.m.
Lots
and there's
of
chicks
public
dancing
sex.
all over the place.
Tons
Dude.
of it.
It is, and they had kids there. People brought fucking kids to Las Vegas, and they're walking around with them, and there's chicks
fucking
dancing.
weird.
Oh, dude, it's wrong. It's wrong because it's a bad city.
Sounds like fun.
But it's great, and you know there was a cool moment actually. It was at a blackjack table. We're just about to leave, and I went down. I had $10 less, a $10 table. Put my 10 on there, and that was it. I was done. We were leaving anyway, and then I could split. No, I could double down. And I didn't have it to do it. So this guy across the table throws me two tokens of $10, puts them on there, and allowed me to win that, which then I built up and ended up on that table, walking going from $0 to $70 just like that before leaving. It's really cool.
Nice.
Help me out. So some camaraderie among the